Well, greetings, Cap fans. Welcome to episode 266 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Rick Verbanis, and I've got a co-host. You know who he is. He's the best gosh darn one out there. Oh, Bob. You'll be my Saturday love, and I'll be your Sunday dream. I'll be your sugar in the morning. Baby, I'll be your sweet ice cream. You'll be my honey in the evening, rocking like a tambourine. When we're together, baby, I'll show you just what I mean. 'Cause I'll tumble for you. I'll tumble for you.
Yes, the great George Allen O'Dowd,
Otherwise known as?
Boy George of
That's
the
right.
Culture Club.
Uh-huh.
A classic 1982 hit. Rick.
It'll be in 1983.
Was it
But
83?
it was 1983. But you're very close. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bob, why am I greeting you with a Boy George tune?
Well, we are diving deep into, or shall I say somersaulting into, Captain America 291. Attack of the Tumbler.
I would have said I was tumbling into.
Oh, yeah. That would have been, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Is there a somersaulter? There should be.
There really should be.
There really should be.
Hey, Alana Smith, if you're listening.
Oh, she won't use it now.
That's right. Yeah,
oh, darn it. I ruined it again.
Yeah. I'll tumble for you. That was a 1983 hit by Culture Club. And it was the third top 10 hit off of their debut album. And which actually, back in 1983, that was the first time a debut album had 3 consecutive top 10 hits since
I have no idea.
The Beatles debut.
I should have just guessed that one,
you really
knowing you. Yes, I know. I should have.
Yeah. And today's comic, Bob, we are covering Captain America 291, and it is it actually technically comes out in 1983. So I thought this was a perfect intro to you.
It really was. Yeah, well done. Well done. Rick, now we're recording this a bit early, but a very sad event occurred this week. The death of MTV. Yeah. Where I saw Tumble For You, the video, the first time I ever laid eyes or heard that song. The Culture Club, what a strange and weird group. I think, 3 or 4 band members, 4 at one time, but yeah, wow. At the end of an era, my friend.
Were you a big MTV fan?
I was a huge fan. Yeah.
What was it like to be in a family with money?
I was trying to explain this to my son. I was trying to explain to him how cable TV worked back in the day. And he's like, well, didn't you have like 500 channels? And I'm like, no, you didn't have like 500 channels. You had to pay for like individual channels. Right. And so there wasn't any of this, you had all these choices, you had Cinemax or Showtime or HBO or, what were those other ones?
Back then?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Cinemax,
Bob.
HBO.
I had the TV antenna.
I
didn't have money like you.
Oh, well.
I was limited to like 5 channels.
Okay. Well, I told you the trick though, right? That little piece of tin foil you stuck in the vent underneath to, short it out and get you all the channels, including the spicy ones. So that's how I became such a skilled lover.
Bound chicka bound bow. it was from watching all those Boy George videos.
It was. Yeah. And my wife, she's never going to hear this, so I can get away with this. So until I'm gone, and then they all listen to this and they're like, I can't believe you said that.
I know, right?
This is my legacy. Love you, honey.
Yeah, I know. Someday I think my wife and kids will listen to these as well. Many, many years from now.
Yeah, very.
So Bob, how you doing? Yeah, how you feeling?
I'm all right. I got a little COVID, Rick, a little touch of COVID. Not an outrageous case here, just some mild symptoms. But
how'd you get it?
I think maybe a colleague at work had it last week. Didn't realize it. Thought it was just a head cold, and so here we are. But so I've had to move my schedule around work from home a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I did have some talks to give this week. In fact, I had one tomorrow at an old folks home that I called and I said, yeah,
I don't think that's a good idea, Bob.
yeah, maybe you don't want me to come unless you need to, clear up some beds or something. Right? Empty
Right.
some beds for you.
That that would be a trick. There's a waiting list, Bob.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I could help them with that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gosh. It's so wrong on lots of
Never
levels.
heard back. It was weird.
I guess not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking uh, I was going to say, speaking of birthdays, because,
That's the opposite.
totally
Yeah. It's the
opposite. It just
opposite
makes
day.
me think of it.
Yeah.
Right. Although I love you remember, Stephen Wright, comedian Stephen
For
Wright. I mean, he's
sure.
still
Yeah.
around. I
Yeah.
saw him a couple years ago for the first time live. I love his, cause he's got that deadpan
Yeah.
delivery.
Monotone.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love dry humor. And so
Hmm.
I always was a fan. And one of my favorites is that, uh, my birth, I know when I'm going to die. My birth certificate came with an expiration date.
Oh, Stephen Wright. Did I ever tell you
Which,
I had a colleague that I worked with for many many years, and he got a performance evaluation. Now, performance evaluations, Rick, they're supposed to how you are in your job,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
that sort of stuff. His said dry humor, hard to get to know. It's like, what is this? How is that relevant?
Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, I definitely have the dry sense of humor at work too. So anyway, speaking of birthdays, Bob, because there's some good ones now.
yeah.
Now, if you're listening to this when this comes out, which is November 19th, and again, yeah, we're recording this like a month before. Uh, Tomorrow, big birthday for Mike Perkins, friend of the show.
Big friend of the show and contributor as well to the Facebook group.
Yeah, remember he voted for me.
I do. You bring that up every episode.
He's been on the show a couple of times. If you want to check out great, fun interviews with a wonderful, absolute gentleman, professional artist. Worked with Steve Epting and penciled and inked and all kinds of stuff. And we had him on the show episode 23. And then also he came back for episode 130. Also celebrating a birthday a couple days later on the 22nd, Roy Thomas.
Another awesome guest that we had.
Absolutely. Yeah, Roy, man, he had uh he was a talker. Man, he just had some amazing
Yeah.
stories about all his time here at Marvel and back when he was editor in chief after Stan Lee, and as a writer and all that fun stuff. Anyway, he was on with episode 125.
Yeah, we
And
talked a lot about those retcons that he was responsible for that so many people love to argue about.
mhm. Also celebrating birthday on the 22nd, not Captain America related, but I can't go without honoring the great late Charles M. Schultz.
Oh yes, excellent. We all grew up on Peanuts and the Gang, right?
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely.
Yeah. Bob, we have joining us today a guest that is, I want to say, he was the very first patron of the show way back 4 years ago when we basically started giving asking people if they wanted to donate and we give out perks and things like that. I believe Grant Ball was the very first patron. Grant, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Oh
And
my God.
I am still surprised that I might be the first one because I know I didn't find you guys as soon as you started the podcast, so I started a bit late, but I guess you must not have started the Patreon right away.
Or we just had a very hard time attracting fans.
That's true.
Could have been that.
I started the
Yeah.
ball rolling. I'm responsible for all the financial success I can see
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for pushing the social norms.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hey,
now Rick can afford cable.
you're right. Hey, Rick, there's a tradition at the United States Naval Academy
Yes, sir.
where the oldest graduate still on active duty is referred to as the old goat. I feel like
Hmm.
I feel like we should have something like that.
All
Some
right.
sort of
But
honor.
it needs to be cap related.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the old Tumblr.
Yeah.
Well, I got to work on.
I mean,
We'll
we'll be
have to
fitting.
focus group this. Focus
Yeah.
group this. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Grant. It's great having you on the show. You've been on the show a couple of times, and you weren't able to be on episode 250 when we did um,
Community theater. Uh,
the community theater episode, but you did do the first one with episode 200.
Yes.
You did the voice of the Red Skull.
Cool. Also, like the 2 speech bubbles of Sam Wilson that he was in there.
Ah, very nice. So
He
we
demands
thought,
his credits, Rick.
my bad. My
You
mea
do not
culpa.
want to get called by the union.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we thought, if you're up for it, Grant, that because we are covering issue 291 today, which is Attack of the Tumbler, we thought maybe you might want to, work out those vocal cords as the voice of the Tumbler. What do you think?
Absolutely. I would have it no other way. Nobody else is allowed to voice the Tumblr.
He was easier to convince than I expected, Rick. Good job. Yeah, but way.
I didn't want to put you on the spot, but yeah. So Grant, tell us, because I know Bob would probably have gotten to this with all the research that he did, but as far as the Tumblr is concerned, very, very interesting character. So the very first Tumblr was John Robert Keene, and he was a thief. He was a criminal. He first appeared in 1966 in Tales of Suspense number 83. Then he came back like 8 years later for 2 issues in Captain America 169, 170, and then he died.
I mean, I don't think he even really appeared in that 170. He dies in 169, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and we covered that, right? Because that was the whole Secret Empire, right? It was right before the Secret Empire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why are you a Tumblr fan?
So, I mean, part of it is, it's just a bit at this point. Somebody's got to love the Tumblr, and it might as well be me. But in all honesty,
Could be Doughboy.
You've got Doughboy claim.
I have got Doughboy. Yeah.
I wouldn't dream of challenging you on that. No, but part of it is just there's some nostalgia behind it. One of the first things I bought when I was getting into Captain America was it was a book that collected all of the Tales of Captain America, Tales of Suspense stories, and even a few of, to like issue 102 or something. And so I read that a bunch since it was before I really was able to start collecting in full force. And so I read that thing, probably dozens of times. And so I've gotten attached to pretty much all of the characters that appeared there. I also have a soft spot for Batroc the Leaper or the Sleepers, the first 3, and then the 4th one also was in there. So I have a soft spot for all of them. And Tumblr was one of those.
How do you feel about the Acrobat?
I don't think he appeared in that one.
I know.
Okay, I was going to say, hold on. But then beyond that, just as I did start getting more into Captain America, I was just really struck by how pathetic the Tumblr is from the get-go.
Oh, so you connected with him.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That hurts. I can still leave.
I can't. So I'm glad that he's directing his angst at you.
No, but like if you read that first issue, it's really set up to make him just as like pathetic as possible. Like even before he became a villain, he was a high school dropout. The local gang didn't want him and tossed him out, not even thinking it was worth beating up. And his first foray as a supervillain was to beat up Captain America, but he actually fights the Tumbler, or not the Adaptoid. And while he wins against the Adaptoid, as soon as the real Cap comes in, he gets trounced. It's not even close. And so I just found that fascinating, and especially even more as, his second appearance he dies. And, I just find that fascinating. And I love how they've deliberately worked to make him pathetic. And I don't know why, but I just love that.
And it is an odd skill set, right? Because at least with Batroc, he's got the French martial art. He's got that background. But the tumbler is like gymnastics.
And dodging juggling pins, like that's
Right.
legitimately so the training he did.
Right. Yeah. So interesting how they had to do a bit of a reach on occasion to cobble together these characters.
Even look at other characters that aren't taken very seriously, like the porcupine. He's also not widely regarded in the overall community, but I feel like with someone like him, they still tried.
He is way more regarded than the tumbler.
Oh, I agree, but but that's the thing is, I feel like in the comic, even though many fans don't take Porcupine seriously, they at least seem to in the comics. Like there's an attempt to make him seem like a viable threat, even if we as readers are laughing that he has this goofy costume. But with the tumbler, there's none of that. It's make him as pathetic as possible, and yeah, I just find that fascinating.
And yet, the issue we're going to do tonight is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's got a pretty good story and a little bit of a twist and a little bit of a, I hate to say it, but it a little bit of a real life flavor to it in some respects. So.
Yeah, I'm going to just throw a couple things out here, right? So the porcupine, the original porcupine had 23 total appearances. And then the second porcupine had 47 appearances. I went and to look up about the tumbler. Yeah, 2. Right? So he falls underneath what they call obscure characters.
Yep.
Yeah. He was and yet I think while most Captain America comic book fans probably aren't familiar with the character, I think people who listen to this podcast are.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to you, Grant.
Yeah. Everybody in the Facebook group knows the tumbler.
Yeah.
That's a good point. You've done good work, my friend.
If I'm part of the tumbler's estate, I would be totally thanking you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You've given life. You breathed life into this character. He may come back
So I know there have been other people who have since taken it up, but even them, it's like they show up for 3 panels in the background. So it seems to be one of those positions that nobody wants to fill.
I'm not touching that.
Well,
all right. So should we get to today's issue?
Let's do it.
The Who's Down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
No one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
All right, Bob. The cover. This cover is by John Byrne. Do you want to take the listeners through it?
Yeah, it's a cool cover, Rick. Make fun of the tumbler, but he's looking, if you pardon my vernacular, kind of badass on this cover, right? Because it looks to be in an alleyway because we see the light shining from the opening in the background, and we see some trash cans and cardboard boxes, but we see Captain America crouched on the ground with his shield over his right shoulder, and he's using both arms to brace that shield, because coming down at him is the tumbler himself. And he is coming down full force with both feet crashing into the shield. So it is an action shot that tells you that you're gonna see some tumbling going on in this issue.
Yes, and it has the classic Mike Zeck corner box art where Cap's kind of like jumping down. He's got his shield out, and that fun logo from the early '80s. 60 cents, Bob. 60 cents gets you this. Now for the cover itself, I know the guy who owns the original art. Any wild guesses on who it is?
No. Is it AG?
It is.
Your
yes.
art nemesis.
Yes, Alberto owns the cover to this.
Wow.
Yeah. And for the creators, we have the writer is Bill Mantlo. Now, interesting thing about Bill. So Bill was a writer. He actually started out as a colorist, but in the early '70s, and then he has been a writer, a long time writer on Incredible Hulk, on Iron Man, on Marvel Team Up, uh,
Team
you name it,
America.
Micronauts. Like
Yeah,
he
Micronauts.
launched Micronauts. So he is a renowned writer, but as far as Captain America is concerned, it's really interesting to me. He's done 3 issues, and I think we've covered all 3. This will be the 3rd one. He just filled in, right? So he did 182, which was part of actually it was colors, but as far as writing, he did 256 which was the Ghost of Greymore Castle. Remember when we did that?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't remember, do you?
Of course I do. It's
Okay.
up here.
and then this one, and then
And 191, right? Did you do 191?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Yeah. Okay.
But then
He looks like he did.
oh really? Okay.
In 191.
The database I have here does not have that.
And by the way, Captain America and the Campbell Soup Kids, I think he did.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because the penciler today, Herb Trimpe, he also had only done 2 issues. He did 184, which I believe we covered, and then this one. So in the 184, we actually, that was the Red Skull Part 1, the post Nomad story that we've been doing recently. Yeah. Remember, it was like, I think I said Herb Trimpe by mistake, but it's Trimpe. And he did this one, and guess what? He was the penciler on the Captain America and the Camel Kids.
Yeah, and that came out in 1980. So
right.
It wasn't. It was maybe it was concurrent or something.
Well, the funny thing is, this issue just reeks of a inventory issue. Do you know what an inventory issue is?
That's one that they sort of prep in advance, right? And have it on hand.
So this actually kind of feels like a inventory issue where they had done this a long time ago and just kind of had it to the side. And it could have been shortly thereafter they did the 1980 Campbell's Kids Captain America, because it is the same writer and it is the same artist that do not typically have anything to do with Captain America.
I bet they did it right after the Culture Club song became a hit. And they're like, you know what? We got to capitalize on this hit song and bring back the Tumblr.
Could be. So that is the writer and artist. And then the inker is Jack Abel, the colorist Andy Vanchus, letterer Diana Albers, and editor Mark Grunwald. So we open up and it has the credits at the top, and the title to this one is Bob,
To Tame a Tumbler.
And we see a gigantic splash of Captain America on his motorcycle, and you can tell it's late at night because the headlight is on, but he's got his shield up, almost like in a defensive mode. And he's holding that as he's riding towards the reader. 4 o'clock in the morning, it is time when those of good intention are home sleeping, or on the lookout for those who are not. Captain America could not sleep this night. So, astride his red, white, and blue emblazoned motorcycle, he sought surcease from sleeplessness in action. He has just found it. Bob, I had to look up surcease from sleeping.
Yes, I know. I got to be honest with you. So did I, Rick.
There was a few words.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to Bill likes to throw a few words around. And Cap, as he's driving on his motorcycle, what's that in my headlight beam?
And you know the motorcycle's moving.
Oh yeah.
How do you know that, Grant?
Well, you see, there seems to be some exhaust coming up behind him, which I'm glad for, because all of the motion lines would not have told me that.
And the spotlight of his motorcycle is on a costume figure who is leaping off of a building. A figure leaping lightly, agilely to the street from who the hell talks like that? Bob, do you talk about that was lightly and agilely?
Yeah, of course I do, Rick. You know I do.
All right, whatever. A figure leaping lightly, agilely to the street from a fourth-story window off the Guardian Life Insurance Company. His costume, I recognize it. It's the Tumbler. Caught in the headlights' glare, it is a moment before the suspected criminal recognizes
Captain America! No one's stopping me tonight, hero. Especially not you.
I don't know who you are, mister, or what your game is, but I do know that despite the costume, you're not the Tumbler. He's dead, savagely slain by the original Moonstone many months ago. When did that happen, Bob?
That was in Captain America 169, Rick.
But you're every bit as good as the first Tumbler was. I'll grant you that. Grant. And he does a little somersault because Cap stops his motorcycle, gets off his motorcycle, and the Tumbler comes up and does a spinning move and lands with his knees tucked and his feet first, heading towards Cap's head, but he puts up the world's largest shield to deflect it.
No, hero, I'm better. You beat my predecessor twice. You won't beat me.
What? I meant for the shield to deflect his leap, but instead he used it as a springboard from which to propel himself onto the saddle of my motorcycle.
Now, wouldn't that be rich, to hijack the famed Captain America's bike? But I haven't any use for it, Avenger, so you can have it back.
My motorcycle, coming right at me. A nice tactic, Tumbler, but I wouldn't be much of a hero if I couldn't avoid being run over by my own bike, now would I? Adroitly leaping out of his cycle's path, Captain America cuts off the ignition. Bob, what's adroitly?
Very skillfully.
All right. And then the next panel, he's throwing his shield at the Tumbler. And almost in the same motion, strikes the street and hurls his shield after the Tumbler.
I guess I knew that someday I'd have to face you, hero, so I spent hours training to evade hurled objects, such as your legendary shield. You may have been perfecting your fighting style since World War II, Captain America.
And he leaps up onto a lamp post, and he's just kind of spinning around it as Cap collects his shield. And then he jumps from the lamppost on top of a building, which looks to be at least 3 stories tall.
But you're going to have to go back to the drawing boards if you want to tame the Tumbler. How does it feel to be humbled, to taste the ashes of defeat for the first time in your career? I'll tell you how I feel. The smell of success is sweet to me. I'll cherish forever the memory of the great Captain America, staring open-mouthed and helpless, while I vanish into the night, having gotten what I came for.
You mean whatever was inside the black bag you merged from the Guardian Life building with? You haven't been so busy showing off your acrobatic abilities, Tumbler. You'd have noticed that you dropped it just prior to your first leap at me.
No! Blast you, Avenger! Without the contents of that bag, my achievement against you tonight is meaningless. All my months of training are for naught.
And at this point, the tumbler then leaps away, or I should say, tumbles away. I don't want anybody confused that he's Patrick.
It says, tumble, tumble, tumble.
But it wasn't you who stopped me, Captain America. It was my own inexperience. I'll just have to train longer, harder, and then the tumbler will be back.
He's gone into the night. I probably could have caught up to him, but there's a mystery here that needs exploring. And I have a feeling the key to it lies inside this black bag. By the light of a street lamp, Cap reads, documents, a life insurance policy. Drawn up the date between the Guardian Life Insurance Company and policyholder John Robert Keene for coverage in the sum of $1 million. What could the tumbler have done with this? The only one who could answer Cap's question is already many blocks away, preparing to leave Manhattan and a highly unorthodox crossing over of the Manhattan Bridge. And we see the tumbler. He is Bob. That's scaring the heck out of me.
Yeah.
He's on the top of the Manhattan Bridge, and he's tumbling down the side,
The suspension
the cable.
cables. Yeah.
And he's just tumbling down that. Dear Lord, I'm just scared looking at it.
I don't know how he's doing that, frankly. Yeah.
It almost seems like he's rolling down like a marble or something.
Right.
Like, he looks almost out of control. But
I mean,
I
that garbage barge down below looks awfully far away.
I wish I could have wiped that smug smile off that superhero's face. But blast it, it wasn't his fault that I dropped the bag. It was mine. I let my exuberance, my desire to show the great Captain America up as the lead-footed clod he is, run away with me. I acted like a rank amateur on his first outing. But that's what I am. Why deny it? I've never played ball in the big leagues before.
And at this point, he's just jumping from building to building, going onto lampposts, grabbing flagpoles, and he's tumbling and he's spinning.
And I did manage to roll rings around the living legend of World War II. That must count for something. But it doesn't count, does it? No matter how I try to talk it away, no matter how I rationalize it, I still failed to do the task I set out to do, failed myself, failed Mom, and failed.
We cut to, it looks like a flashback sequence. John Robert Keene, we commend your body to the earth as we commend your soul to the Lord. The tumbler can't help remembering the day they buried his brother.
I'll take care of you, Mom. I'll be as good a son as John was. But how? While I was in the army, John paid all the bills, even if it was through the ill-gotten gains he'd reaped as the tumbler. Which, I just want to know about those, because, like I said, with the 2 appearances, he never made off with anything, so he must have done a lot better in the times we weren't seeing him.
We gotta have some tumbler tales between the tails sorts of stories. I'm counting on you, Grant, for the next fantasy draft.
I see that. So both John and Michael are their mom is sitting in a chair, and she looks elderly, Bob. She's got gray hair and a purple dress, and she's sitting in a chair holding the head to her face, and it looks like she still has her mourning veil on her head.
By the way, I think she looks a lot like Peggy Carter looked when Cap found her.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, because she's probably 55.
Yeah, she's probably 55.
Right?
Right. Yeah. She's got the whole Aunt May look going on. It's a certain look of a 55-year-old woman in Marvel Comics in the 1970s and 1980s. So Johnny mentioned something about a life insurance policy, Michael.
You were right, Mom. John did take out a policy for $1 million. I found it in his bureau drawer. It names
Along
you
with
as...
some other things I can't tell you about, Mom.
That's why he didn't say anything. He wants... Criminal is one thing, but...
Hold on, I got to stop you there. A little tangent action, because I use the word bureau, and my wife gives me endless guff about it. As soon as I say it's in the bureau, she says, "Is that the one next to the Davenport down the hall from the ice box?" And then she just gives me. So, does anybody else here use bureau?
Okay, Bob. First of all, this was written in at least no later than 1982.
Yeah.
So, and second of all, you use the word guff. I don't. I don't. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
You've
Fair
lost
enough.
all credit.
Fair enough. Okay.
It names you as its beneficiary. Once we collect, you'll be on Easy Street.
But getting to Easy Street didn't turn out to be so easy. And we cut to the office of the insurance company, and there is a Bob. How would you describe this man sitting behind the desk?
He's got a green suit on. Seems, medium build, medium height. You can tell that from sitting down. Got a green suit on, white shirt, black tie, nice trimmed mustache, well within regulations because it doesn't exceed the length of his mouth, the width of his mouth. Other than that, looks fairly normal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You left out the gold tooth, but okay.
Handsome. Well, yeah, we weren't there yet.
Can't see that yet.
Yeah, but he's very handsome. Handsome. Something about him. I don't know what it is, but I find him striking.
He's practically glowing.
Almost regal. Yeah.
I find it to be very annoying looking, but I think that was on purpose. I think that's how it was supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Your brother John was a criminal, Mr. Keene, killed while engaged in an illegal act.
John was set up by the secret empire, Mr. Matthews, and killed by Moonstone in such a way as to make it appear his murderer was Captain America. As the Tumbler, he was just a dupe, a ploy.
And when did that happen, Bob?
That was back in issue 175, Rick.
Dupe or no? The illegality of John Robert Keene's associations make it impossible for the Guardian Life Insurance Company to make good on your mother's claim. I'm sorry, Mr. Keene. Good day.
And it's in this picture where you can really see that gold tooth. Like it's...
And you really like that mustache, Bob?
It's well, it's the whole look, Rick. It really does. It's a balance,
Well, first of all, he has a green suit.
Many factors.
Listen, if you've got a green suit at home, God bless you. Chances are you probably got many different colors and it's not your only suit. But it's a green. I mean, listen, if the Bare Naked Ladies were singing a song, they would say, what would they say?
I don't know. My mind went somewhere for a minute and I blanked out. Just that sounds like a good
if
show.
you had $1 million and you had a green dress, that would be cruel. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, unless he's he's got green on, that makes him a villain.
It could be.
Right?
Could be,
I mean,
sure.
think about all of Spider-Man's villains. They all have like green.
Yeah. Dr. Faustus often wears a green suit.
Well, Red Skull too. He
Red
had
Skull.
that green
suit.
It's the same shade even. So
Yeah. All right. But it wasn't a good day. None of them were after that. His brother's infamy straining his own reputation, Michael Keene found it difficult to secure work. The bills mounted, especially when his mother became ill. What little savings they had went to help her, but in the end, it was too little. She died. We turn the page. Michael Keene had gained a reputation as a fighter in the Army. When hit, he hit back. He had been hit hard now, and he wanted somebody to take it out on. And wow, Bob, what's he doing?
Well, he's tearing up his room like he's Mick Jagger or something, right? He just threw his chair through a television set. He's torn the drapes off the curtains. Sorry, I'm showing my fancy side again. The guy who had MTV as a kid. Yeah. So he had drapes. I'm going to say it. He tore the drapes off the window. He's turned over furniture. The lamps are on the floor. There's broken plates. He's tearing up the joint, Rick.
I gotta say, man, if I had no money to my name, I wouldn't be destroying my own personal property like that.
Good.
Well, I also assume you would not become a supervillain, so we already know he doesn't make very good choices.
There is that.
It's fair choice. Fair
point.
statement.
His brother had died because he was the tumbler. The Guardian Life Insurance Company had let the mother die because his brother was the tumbler. So Guardian Life would have to pay. And he goes into the closet with all these other suits, none of which are green, and he pulls out the tumbler uniform of his brother.
So, something interesting I noticed on this is it looks like the outfit has gloves attached to it. I thought those were just his hands, but it looks like it has gloves on it.
Which is weird because when he wears them, he doesn't seem to be wearing gloves.
It is odd.
I think I got a little obsessed about this when I noticed. I think there's one panel where you can see, it's in a couple panels. You can see a seam on his hand. So I guess they were deliberate about it being gloves, but the coloration is very fleshy.
Fleshy, yes.
And in this next panel, we see 5 different versions of the tumbler doing all sorts of acrobatic feats. And it would be a new tumbler who submit the bill. Michael Keane trained long and hard, and in the end, he was better than his brother had ever been. And then we cut back to current time, where the tumbler had been kind of going through the city, trying to race home, and he gets in front of his window about to jump in.
But I wasn't good enough to get revenge on Guardian Life. Still, there'll be other nights, other chances.
A forward roll through an open window, and the tumbler is home. But who's waiting for him, Bob?
Just leaning against the door sill in the kitchen is Captain America himself, very casually.
What? Captain America here? How?
No mystery, Michael. The address on your brother's life insurance policy was the same that listed under your name in the Brooklyn phone book. Let's talk, shall we?
Talk? What have we got to talk about? I know you didn't kill my brother, Hero. The Secret Empire did and tried to pin the rap on you. Still, I can't help thinking that John would be alive today if you hadn't been such a thorn in the Secret Empire's side.
And at this point, he leaps across the kitchen table at Cap.
To my mind, that makes you an accessory to his murder, as guilty as if you'd fired the laser burst that laid John low.
Your brother put on the trappings of a supervillain, Tumbler. He was never very good at playing the part. I'm sorry that he died as uselessly as he'd lived. I'm sorry that he died at all. That was harsh.
Ouch. I was going to say that was a bit rough, man.
And this is what I mean. The man has died, and the writers will still not let up on how pathetic the Tumbler is.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
He's been dead for a decade by this point.
And by down, I mean like 6 feet under down. Right. Yeah.
And so this is the panel showing the Tumbler hitting Cap's shield. But it was a life he led and the company he kept that brought about his death. My role in the whole sordid affair was entirely coincidental. And then he ricochets off Cap's shield and onto the table.
It must be great to be able to reassure yourself that you're blameless, Avenger. To walk away from the shambles you've made of another man's family, secure in your self-righteousness. But you helped kill John, and John's death helped kill our mother. I hold you semi-responsible for that, Hero, and I won't rest until you and all others responsible are taken to task. Now, farewell. Since you're in my apartment, I'll have to be the one to leave.
Cap throws his shield, ricochets off the wall in front of the open window where the Tumbler was heading towards.
What? Your shield ricocheting about the room, blocking my leap out the window?
And at this point, his day got worse as Batrock's lawyers sent him a cease and desist for using the term leap. I got to say, I I I I want to just use that term in my life the next time. I'm going to be like, I hold you semi-responsible.
Not very
Exactly.
dramatic.
Yes. I love it.
Like 65% responsible.
Fractionally.
I said I wanted to talk to you, Michael, but so far I haven't been able to get a word in edgewise. I know you're angry from what you've said. I can guess at the grief you've known since leaving the army.
Cripes. You even know my military record? What are you, psychic?
And at this point, he kicks the table at Cap. You don't have to be when you know a certain code word, which, spoken to a telephone receiver, connects you with the SHIELD databanks. The computers kicked back a record of valor on Michael Keaton Keene, lieutenant in the Special Forces, the Green Berets. Knowing your military training, I knew you possessed the physical prowess to follow in your brother's footsteps. And then using his shield to shear the legs off the kitchen table. So he grabs this round kitchen table in his right hand, takes his shield, and shears the legs off to make them much, much shorter. And it makes a noise, Bob.
Stack.
Captain America hurls it at the astonished tumbler before the other can make a move to evade it.
I'm pinned to the floor, but this won't hold me.
But Cap jumps up on the table to put all his weight on it. How much does he weigh, Bob?
A lot, Rick. I don't know. What was it? 300 something pounds or something? Of blue twisted steel and sex appeal?
I think it's like 250 or something.
250?
I think 240.
But plus the shield, though, right?
Oh, right there. Yeah.
Which
And
is
the
again
chainmail.
massive.
That chainmail's got to be heavy too.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
The shield is almost as big as the table too right now.
It really is. It's been disproportionate this whole time. I'll tell you one thing. It's not hiding any sport coat, right? Like you put that sport. Someone's gonna be like, Quasimodo, come over. What are you doing? So he's standing, crouching, I should say, on top of this table that is pinning the tumbler down. Yes, it will. Long enough, at least, for me to try and get into your head that we're not enemies. I've read the documents in the black bag you stole from the Guardian Life Insurance Company. I want to help you bring them to justice.
I don't want justice. I want revenge.
That's your brother talking, not the Michael Keene who served his country long and well. You're not bad, Michael. You didn't steal anything of value from Guardian Life, only your brother's records, records that had no value to anyone other than John Keene's sole surviving heir, you.
His helmet came off at some point in this. I don't know when he took the time to take off his mask.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, it was the next page. So
Yeah.
so when we're turning the page, that's when it happened.
The Guardian Life Insurance Company screwed me out of my rightful claim and indirectly caused my mother's death.
I know. I said that I read the records, but that's not why you went there tonight.
Well, no, not entirely. You see, Cap, Guardian Life insured my brother knowing he was the tumbler, then used that as their excuse not to pay on my claim. I'm no lawyer, but that seems like some kind of fraud.
So I'd say. And if Guardian Life engaged in fraud, then you may yet have a valid claim against them. I'd like to help you find out, if you'll let me.
You mean Captain America team up with the tumbler?
And then we go to the next page, which is a gigantic splash of the two of them out in the night sky. And Cap says, son, that's exactly what I mean.
That's a pretty good splash, Rick.
It is.
It is. That's fun.
They make a striking pair, the veteran and the neophyte, leaping from rooftop to rooftop through the pre-dawn air. The tumbler, with the exuberance of youth, goes out of his way to impress the red, white, and blue Avenger. And he is. He's now kind of showing off his acrobatics.
Pretty good, huh, Cap?
And Cap is not too shabby himself. Yes, son. His enthusiasm reminds me of my protege, Nomad, in fact. Pretty good. And at this point, Cap is on the top of a flagpole that's above a water tower, and just kind of on his like his feet are like straight up in the air.
Wow, Captain America was a hero long before I was even born. I thought age might have slowed him down, but he's executing rings around me. Would you believe I used to be scared of heights, Cap?
Tumbler says as he is going across a wire, going from building to building. So he's obviously many, many, many stories up. And Cap, not to be outdone, puts his shield on the cable and then stands on top of the shield, which I can only assume is rolling along the wire, and he's just kind of stepping along it.
You know, I'm curious because just a few pages ago, he used the edge of that shield to cut off legs from a table. So you'd think this would cut right through it, but
It's comics, Grant. It's
Yeah.
just comics.
Oh,
shield does not obey the law of physics at all.
So as he's on doing this acrobatic feat himself, he actually admits to the tumbler, I still am Tumbler. That's why I'm very, very careful.
Careful. The only ones who have to worry about being careful are those foolish enough to go up against Captain America. Me, I'm glad we're on the same side now.
Soon, having crossed the East River to the Isle of Manhattan, there it is, Tumbler, your target of earlier this evening. Now, how did you break in without setting off an alarm?
Carefully, Cap, via the roof.
Seconds later, the duo reaches a rooftop overlooking the Guardian Life Insurance Company.
Cap, look! Security guards at the rear of the GLC building loading something into trucks.
It appears your break-in stirred up a hornet's nest.
Why? All I did was steal my brother's file.
I'd hazard a guess that they're cleaning out their files precisely because of your break-in. Shall we find out what it is they think they need to hide, son?
You bet, Dad.
And I appreciate
finally,
that,
someone said it.
right? Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Cap can come across a little,
That's what we're looking for.
Patronizing?
yeah.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that these next three panels have the two of them in the same form as they are doing their own tumbles, their own jumping off, hitting something and pounding and jumping off and landing. They're all like, mirroring each other as they're doing it. Sorry, Mike. I guess I do tend to patronize those in the crime fighter business who are younger than I am. But then almost everyone in the business is younger than I.
It's all right, Cap. In the past half hour, I've come to have a healthy respect for old age.
So, Grant, I think this is a perfect opportunity for Bob and I to ask you, have you developed a healthy respect for old age by hanging out with me and Bob?
You know, you're not that much older than me. Is that the correct answer?
That was a
Good,
perfect
nice.
answer.
I thought we were the same age.
Yeah, perfect answer.
Yeah. Good.
Meanwhile, below, and we see some of those guards aforementioned that were in the truck. They were loading cases and files into the truck. Hey, I thought I saw somebody leaping across the rooftops. Sure you did. Tonight's theft has got us all on edge. Keep loading. And the next page, we see Cap and a Tumbler. They're on top of the building. And Bob, what are they looking through?
Thank goodness, they're on one of the few buildings in New York that has a skylight.
I can't believe it.
What are the odds?
Yes, I'd say GLIC is definitely nervous about some. He already has an acronym for the insurance company.
It's a long. That's like a
Did
whole
they
word
call him
bubble.
Glick? Maybe they have. Maybe that's their commercial. Like, trust Glick. I don't know. Am I thinking like a marketing guy, Bob?
Right? Yeah, indeed. You need to think like a letterer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like something you spit up.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I'd say Glick is decidedly nervous about something, so much so that they've summoned their executives here at 5:30 in the morning.
Cap, that guy giving orders. He's the same one who turned down my claim on my brother's policy.
Keep your anger in check, Tumbler. We won't find out what we came to find out if you leap in half-cocked.
All right, you're the tactician. What do we do?
First, we create a diversion, like so. Flung from crimson gauntlets, the famous shield flies. And what happens, Bob?
So he chucks the shield off what appears to be a elevated water silo, and it ricochets off that into a billboard, and then back into his hand.
Inside the Guardian Life building, the noise wrought by the ricocheting shield pushes those already edgy over the edge. What was that? Some of you, go check outside. The rest keep loading those files into the trucks. Hurry! It's our heads if we get stopped now. Sounds serious. Should we find out why? And he opens up the glass on the skylight.
Lead the way, Cap. Age before beauty.
Ouch!
I mean, if you call everybody son, I think you're asking for it.
You are a little bit.
That's fair. That's fair. So they jump out onto the floor. Boy, that's a 2-story room right there, right?
It's a high roof for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to. So behind the tumbler, the motion lines imply he tumbled, and like I know it's his thing, but what was the point of that? He just did a flip in the air for fun, I guess.
Well, he doesn't have that super soldier serum going through him, so he's just supposed to be a normal guy. So maybe with that long of he wanted to like break his fall.
I'm not sure how he would even do it. It's like defying the laws of physics.
Have you never seen someone go off a diving board, Bob?
I have.
Well,
right?
wouldn't that be the same situation?
No, because they're using the momentum of the diving board, right?
No, you could just jump off a diving board
Really?
and flip as you go down. Or how about the people who just go off of a side of a cliff,
Okay.
into the ocean?
Yeah, I don't
right?
know. The motion
they
of
do
this
flips.
seems a little different, like because he's going up. But okay.
You have a problem with the motion of the ocean?
I agree with Bob here. Like if you look at the lines, they're kind of funky. Like I don't know how to properly describe it, but
Right.
he's flipping I don't know, the way those lines go doesn't.
Oh my God. All right. We're going to be here all night long if we keep this up. Some of us have to edit this thing afterwards.
I'm gonna do like a deep dive post once this post, just tracking the lines don't match. Rick tried to silence us.
All right. So Cap is not happy with the little age before beauty. So he says, now who's being patronizing?
All right. So I'll go first.
Guard the door, Tumbler. Is this where you found your brother's file?
That's right.
I can see why Glick was so nervous then. And he's going through the filing cabinet. Name after name on the files Captain America finds himself more than passingly familiar with. Bob, who are these names?
Oh, there's a lot of baddies, Rick. These are
Let's
all
hear
bad
them.
guys. So Jonathan Powers, the Jester.
Who's that?
The
All
Jester, right? We've got Otto Octavius, which is
That's
Doc
an easy
Ock,
one.
right?
Yeah.
Calvin Zabo, Mr. Hyde,
Very
right?
good.
And then we've got Klaus Voorhees, King Cobra.
Yeah.
Silas King, Solar, and I think that might be Sam Smithers, Plant Man, or Sam
Oh.
Smith, the guy from like the Rawhide comics. Probably not him though.
Smithers.
Smithers, yeah.
Bob, first of all, I'm really proud of you. Not because that
Aw.
you know all of who these were,
I had
it's
no
because
idea.
you actually did your due diligence.
Well, of course, Rick, you know that I do. That's just a thing we do. But I am sorry to have disappointed you.
You didn't disappoint me. No, I'm impressed.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, because I think I only knew like 2 off the top of my head.
Two, of course, the obvious ones, right? Yeah. There's some cool names though.
Who are the obvious ones?
No, I mean, I think obviously everybody knows Otto Octavius,
Yeah,
right? I mean, who can go wrong with
Who's
that
the
one?
other obvious
And
one?
you probably knew Mr. Hyde because, or Klaus probably. These guys have been in a lot of Captain America comics.
I only know Klaus because of we had to do him on the show, and yeah. So
yeah, but I mean, I'm not familiar.
actually I know Klaus because
Jester.
Klaus was on my fantasy draft.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
why I
some
know
of these others, I don't even know. Have we seen them in a Captain America comic before? They might have been in Hulk or Spider-Man or some of Mantlo's other,
Well,
comics.
Jester was a Daredevil villain.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't recall him being in a Cap comic. Solar, definitely. Solar debuted in a Cap comic.
Mm.
Criminals. These are the real names of costume criminals. No wonder your break-in scared a Guardian life. You accidentally uncovered an operation with staggering implications. The Guardian Life Insurance Company is insuring supervillains for exorbitant amounts, and they feared your discovery would alert their clients
Alert them to what?
to the fact that Glick, as in the case of the original Tumblr, has no intention of paying on their claims. The reasoning is impeccable. Where else could a supervillain get a life insurance policy? And having died, what relative would dare go to court pressing for payment knowing the nature of the descendant's crimes?
So Glick is playing both ends against the middle, and I was the only beneficiary with the guts enough to take them on.
But we see over his shoulder some guards coming in, and they come up and they hit the back of the tumbler in the head.
Walk.
Ugh.
It wasn't a case of guts, wise guy. Your brother was the first supervillain we insured to die. No one else had yet pressed a claim.
See, again, they're just beating on him. The man is dead, and they had to make it so he's so pathetic. He's the only one who actually died from all those villains.
Get your nose out of those files and your hands up, Shield Slinger, or if the kid gets it. At ease. I'll play this your way. And then the man that Bob thinks is really attractive
Striking.
comes in, but he's wearing a blue suit this time, Bob.
Yeah.
Well, what do we have here? The great Captain America, an Avenger no less, caught breaking and entering like a common criminal. He brought some kid with him, Mr. Matthews. Kid? And he takes the mask off of the tumbler.
Remember me, Matthews?
I do, Tumbler. Gentlemen, this is no kid. This is Mike King, thrice decorated military hero, who, following in his late brother's footsteps, will soon be dead. Don't add murder to your crimes, Matthews. You've already in enough danger as it is, both from the law and from your clients. And who will inform them, Captain America? You? I'm afraid not. You see, both of you, and this would-be superhero you've brought with you, are going to be shot dead in the act of committing a burglary.
No, I brought Cap into this. I'm not going to let you take him out.
Fools! Shoot him! Stop him! Good. The Tumbler's move gave me the opening I was hoping for to do this. And then, struck at precisely the right angle, the massive mountain of file cabinets tilts and falls. Okay, guys, I understand the first row of filing cabinets. Someone tell me about the top row. Like, how are you supposed to get to those?
With a ladder, Rick.
Okay, but if you have the ladder and you're in front of the filing cabinet, how can you open it? Your ladder would be pushing it closed.
It's got
right?
motorized wheels.
Yes. Right. Jesus.
All right. All right, we'll go with that. So
Remember that? I'm thinking of that scene from Naked Gun, right?
yeah, right.
You know which one I'm
Nice
talking
beaver.
about. There's the one. Thanks. I just had it stuffed. Classic.
And after these fall on Mr. Matthews, as well as a few of the guards, Cap yells, "Tumbler, now's our chance. Let's hit them." And hit them, their would-be captors, they do, leaping into action like twin cogs of a single machine. Cap's throwing his shield at one. The tumbler is rolling, almost like a bowling ball hitting bowling pins, knocking them
Yeah,
over.
I'm wondering how you'd get that much momentum rolling like that.
But through it all, it is obvious who is pupil and who is teacher. And Cap, on the ricochet of a shield, catching it in his right hand. Keep moving. Don't let them draw a bead on you. Never take on one if you could take out two.
So something cool is this panel right there seems to be an homage from a panel from the original Tumblr story in Tales of Suspense.
It does have a Jack Kirby look to it.
Yeah,
does,
so
yeah.
if I that panel,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good call by you.
Wow.
I had figured I needed to read all of the Tumblr issues and prep for tonight just in case. And when I got to that one, I thought that looks really familiar.
Really paid off that work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job, man. Next page.
Hey, slow down, will ya? You're trying to teach me what you learned over 40 years in 40 minutes. I may be a quick study, but nobody's that quick. Besides, I've learned a little on my own, you know?
And Cap throws his shield up into the light that is illuminating the room, and it ricochets and makes a loud noise.
Scratch.
I'm not doubting you, Tumbler. It's just that in this business, a second's hesitation or doubt is a sure ticket to death.
I read you, Cap. But what's with acing the lights?
And the two of them are running out of the room as they're being fired on. We've learned all we can hope to learn. Now it's time for a strategic withdrawal.
You mean we run?
No, I mean we contain our evidence where we can find it later. And Cap puts a lock on the door of the record storage. Somehow, Bob, they have a, in a castle, on those
Right, yeah.
doors, they have those little things on the side, and they
Yeah.
put a plank, like a 2x4 on the,
Right.
on
Yeah.
yeah. Somehow they have that for the records room.
Right. It seems an odd choice of security protocol.
Not only that, it seems specifically made to lock people in the room
Yeah, exactly.
rather than out of the room.
All right. So they lock people in the room,
with the evidence.
which they can, easily at this point burn, right?
Yeah.
And then they see a whole cadre of more guards at the end of the hall. Bob, I knew you'd appreciate cadre.
I love that word. You know I do.
No, I mean we contain our evidence where we can find it later while dealing with the rest of Glick's employees. There must be a dozen to our two, all armed to the teeth. All right, Mike, I've handled this type of action before. Take cover and...
What is this, Cap? You imposing a curfew? I'm the Tumbler tonight, not Mike Keene. And we're going to finish this operation the way we started. Together.
It is interesting. He does call him Mike. Like before, he referred to him as Tumbler, but this is I think the first time he's referring to him as Mike when he's in costume and they're in this mission, which is unlike Cap.
It is. He's got his helmet off, Rick.
Oh, Okay. I guess at this point, everybody knows he's Mike.
Right. Break.
Yeah.
They're on break.
Well, no, remember,
Yeah. No, you're right.
Mr. Matthews is like, oh, it's Mike. All right. The jig is up. The word then is go. And go they do. And it's a cool panel because Cap goes low with his shield, knocking people over, and the tumbler goes high, knocking people over as they're firing.
Splack, spock,
And they are fighting away, getting through this group. Next page.
Cap, I'll set him up.
And I'll knock him down. And he throws his shield, hitting several of them at the same time.
Nice bowling, partner.
You're not my partner, Tumbler. This is a one-time affair. You're good. You've acquitted yourself well tonight. But having lost one partner in my career, I don't intend to lose another. And Cap opens up the elevator shaft doors, and then the two of them go down the cable to get on top of a elevator, the top of an elevator booth, as it's descending.
I wasn't angling for an application, Cap. I'm merely glad you're helping me bust up this racket.
Then let's finish the job, shall we? Last page. With the descending elevator chock full of escaping guards, almost at shaft's bottom, Captain America uses his shield to slice the cables. Because you know what, Grant? It's sharp on the side.
It's Schrodinger's edge. It's sharp when it needs to be.
Right. Yeah.
Jump off, Tumbler. Now.
Your wish is my command. Oh, Captain.
Scratch.
For a few seconds, the sounds of a rather one-sided struggle rise from the Guardian Life Building's basement. Then there is silence. Soon, a sidewalk elevator bay opens. And we see Cap and Tumbler standing over a pile of those guards. Well, what do you know? It's morning.
But buy you breakfast, Avenger?
It's a deal. Just let me make a telephone call to the police. Then the Tumbler can no longer restrain himself. He's avenged his brother, his mother, and turned a tarnished name into one to be proud of. He laughs. He can't help himself.
Here come the cops, Cap.
That call we got was from Captain America. But who's that with him? Gentlemen, you'll find all the information you need to send this group away inside. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to have a glass of milk with the New York's newest crime fighter.
Not me, Cap. I've done what I had to do. This costume's going back in the closet for good.
And the two of them walk off into the city. The end.
Wow.
This is peak art. Like, can you get better than this?
Well, you're talking to a big Mike Zeck fan that just happened a few issues before, so yeah. But yeah, it's definitely from a time period. You can look at it and it really speaks to I think more of a Silver Age look than a Bronze Age look.
Yeah, there were a number of points where I was looking at it, I was like, it felt like they were mimicking Jack Kirby's style.
Yeah. All right, guys, what do you think of this story?
Well, Grant, I mean, what do you think? You're the guest of honor here.
I mean, yeah, I do enjoy it. It's what you can, just from reading it, you can tell it seems to be a sort of fill-in issue, but it's a fun story. And of course, I do just find it interesting that they went back to the Tumbler because he had been dead for 10 years at that point. So I'd love to find out more, like why they decided to bring him back or bring back his brother. But overall, it's a fun story and it's a nice one-off thing, even if you're not as big of a fan of the Tumblr as I am.
I'm telling you, I'm convinced it was because of the Culture Club's hit. We'll never know because Bill passed in '92, so we'll never be able to ask that question. But it's just too coincidental, man, not to bring back the Tumblr and take advantage of that. I thought this was a great story. One, it's got a lot of action in it, right? But it's it's not like a fanciful story, right? I mean, this has a little bit of an edge to it, a little bit of like, oh, a corrupt insurance company. Who's not going to go down with that, right? Who can't like get into that story, right? And then one that involves supervillains. Come on, it's got a little bit of realism in addition to the fantasy side of it. So I think it's a good story.
Yeah, and despite some of the quirky dialogue, I liked Bill's story here in that, Cap likes to see the good in people. And even when the Tumblr was trying to do something wrong, Cap was like, "No, you're not a bad guy. You've served your country, blah 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 blah." Like I like that Bill got that part of Steve, and that he's always trying to see the good in people, and he's always trying to like I I think we don't talk about this enough, but Cap doesn't, like, his first reaction isn't violence. Like, he wants to talk people down. Like, he wants to talk through them. He wants to get to them. And I like that part of the story as well.
Indeed. Yeah. The other thing is, I hate to say it, but this guy's kind of I'm going to say it. Mike's kind of a compelling character. I mean, he could be, right? And the fact that it just sort of wrapped up his story with this issue, but I mean, he had some skills, right? And he had a kind of a positive attitude. He could keep up with Cap. I mean, at one point he kind of mentioned, a little, the whole nomad thing came up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there was some potential here to use this character at some point. Maybe it's surprising to me that nobody has resurrected him.
Are you listening, Alana?
Oh, she's not going to do it now.
Yeah. Darn it.
All my hopes and dreams.
I know.
The new Tumblr miniseries.
Yeah.
Shattered.
Yes.
All right. You know what we're going to do? Favorite panel, T-shirt, and time capsule. But Grant, because you are the guest of honor, Bob would go first. Bob, it's your turn. But we're going to let you go first, Grant.
Okay. So we're doing favorite panel first?
Yeah. You have listened to the series, right? Like that's what we do first.
Yeah. Just want to make sure I had my timing right. So I like it's on page 9, and it's that bottom wide panel where Cap is throwing the shield to block the Tumblr from leaving. I just love the way the ricochet lines are going, and it's just a nice dynamic page or panel.
Yeah. That's good. Good choice. I like that.
All right. Yeah. Yep. I'll buy that for $1. Well, you probably want to know what mine is, Grant.
No, not really. I'm still in awe of Grant.
You gotta admire it for a bit longer.
All
first.
right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the shield, it's a little large, and it looks a little flat. But outside of that, yes, I do like the panel. Okay, Bob, what's yours?
Well, thank you for asking, Rick. I got to go with page 2. It's that 1/3 splash at the top where Cap is driving up upon Tumblr, and he's got him in the headlights. I like this panel because it shows such a great depth of the scene. I mean, Tumblr's really, really tiny in front of the Guardian Life Insurance Company, and Cap's bike is way on the other side of that scene, and we've got the whole city block in that. So great depth of field, and just kind of a cool way to use a beam of light to illuminate the character. So very artsy.
I like that. No, that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of detail in the little buildings as well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like some good detailed buildings? Rick, what do you got for your favorite panel?
I'm going to go with page 20. I'm going to go with the fourth panel, and that's the one where Cap goes low and Tumbler goes high, and they're knocking down those guards. And now the guards are all wearing green, which was very reminiscent of like military uniforms, in my opinion. And I couldn't help, and also the thing I liked about this, look at the way the guns are firing. There's that flash bubble, outside of the muzzle, and then you see the rest of the firing. So you see that in three different occasions, and it reminds me, seeing these military guys and the way their guns are firing, it reminds me of GI Joe. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
Herb Trimpe was the artist for G.I. Joe that first year,
This guy,
which also,
right?
by the way, came out around this time.
Yeah.
So it has that look and feel of G.I. Joe, and it just, but seeing Cap, knock him over with the shield, and seeing Tumbler at the top, all those elements just created a kind of like a nostalgic feel for me.
It is pretty good. I noticed that you're not saying anything about the size of the shield in this panel.
It is big. It is big, Grant. Like, and then you go the panel underneath him, and like the shield kind of shrunk a little bit.
Right.
You could see some red on the back, so it's like it got bent over.
Oh
It's
my
got a
gosh.
ridge. It's got a ridge. All right. I think I go first for t-shirt.
T-shirt.
Yeah. All right.
All right. I was going to go with the low-hanging fruit, but instead, I'm going to go with page 15, the third panel. And that's where Cap throws his shield to create a diversion. I like that I like him bending over, throwing the shield as something that would go visually on a t-shirt. But I also like what he says. And he says, first we created a version like so. Flung from crimson gauntlets, the famous shield flies. And it just has a very vintage look to it that I think would make for a very cool vintage looking t-shirt.
That would be a good t-shirt.
How about you, Bob? What's going on your t-shirt?
I got to go with that homage panel, Rick, that Grant so generously pointed out. And I love the bubble as well. Keep moving. Don't let them draw a bead on you. Never take on one if you can take out two.
Yeah, very nice. And Grant, was that going to be one of yours? Did Bob
No,
steal it?
I'm glad I thought about it, but for me, I knew going in that if I were going to have a t-shirt from this issue, it would have to have the Tumbler on it.
Yeah, fair enough.
It feels like a waste to not. So my t-shirt is on page 3, and it's the bottom left panel, and it's the Tumbler leaping over the shield as it's being thrown at him. I don't think I'd necessarily need to keep the speech bubbles. It is a little funny saying he spent hours training to evade hurled objects, but the image is cool.
That's fair.
Although it would be fun to have people say, what's that mean?
I think people would be questioning the Tumbler in general. He's not the most recognizable character.
Right. Well, all right. Well, that's fair.
Grant, you go first on the time capsule.
All right. I am going to go with it's on pages 17 and 18 where they have just those rows and rows of filing cabinets. Like, I feel like that is much less common now that we've moved a lot to digital records. And it's not like they're unheard of. We have some at my work that I use occasionally, but we have like 2 total in the whole building. Everything else is digital, and we could probably even trim down what we put in those files because everything's digital. So it's funny to look at this and see a room dedicated to filing cabinets.
Right.
True.
Yeah. I like filing cabinets. gotta admit, I keep paper copies of everything. I'm a holder on.
All right, for the time capsule for me, I'm going to do something that I've never done before.
Oh,
I don't think it's a cop out, but Bob, if you want to challenge me on this, that's fine.
all right.
I don't get a challenge apparently.
Bob, if you want to challenge me, that's fine.
All right.
I'm looking at the ads.
Yeah.
And there's like Masters of the Universe video game. There's Masters of the Universe action figures. There's Atari video games. Like, and all of these, oh my gosh, they're so nostalgic. But I want to go with the last page before the inside cover, and that is the Marvel subscription mail away, where there's little titles with the check marks, so you could then cut it out and mail it away and say, for 42 cents an issue, I'm going to buy this. That is totally a time period, right? And
Yeah.
on top of that, it's the Inhumans in the ad, and the art's by John Byrne. So you have Medusa, you have Black Bolt, and then you have I can't remember the name of the giant dog. Anybody?
Lockjaw.
Thank you. And you have that, and it's John Byrne art. But then when you look at the list of comics, it totally is a time period, right? Because when else can you subscribe to Crystar?
Right.
Or
Dazzler.
right? Indiana Jones. Right? These
Yeah.
do not last for long periods of time. And yeah, so I don't know. Bob, is that, can you
No,
accept
I'm going.
this?
I'm down for that. I think it's part of the holistic piece of the story, right? Those ads. I mean, it's part of what makes a comic. Particularly the older ones, the ones we collected back in our youth, especially remembering, like looking at those ads and going, "Oh my God, I want that."
All right, Grant, would you have accepted it?
I'll accept it.
All right, thank you, Grant.
That is
Bob,
wild to see that pricing though. $5.50 for 13 issues, whereas nowadays that's a single issue.
That's an issue, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
But also for $5 a month, you can support the show if you go to buymeacoffee.com/Cap Comic Fans. Like Grant, you too can support the show for only $5 a month. As Grant pointed out, that's only one comic. So thank you very much, Grant.
However, you will not be able
plug.
to be the old Tumblr. I am holding on to that position.
I used a little bit of Chat GPT tonight over dinner to I was making a point with my wife, and I said, what would I have to, I sent her a funny meme today about how if your wife's mad at you, buy a comic, because as long as she's going to be mad at you, you might as well have a comic. And she wrote back, she texted back, bad idea, man. So tonight over dinner, the three of us were having dinner, my wife, my son, and I got on ChatGPT. I'm going to ask ChatGPT what I have to do to convince my wife that I've been a good boy and deserve a comic. And it gave me like all these ideas, including like little scripts I could use. If I want a romantic one, if I want a practical one, it was hilarious. But the catch was, I was really going for the vintage comic, and it made it clear it was a $5 comic. But it was really quite funny that it had all these great ideas for how to convince your accountant. So yeah, funny.
I would have used ChatGPT to convince my wife for other reasons.
Well, I don't need the ChatGPT for that. But... Ooh. Ow! Ooh. No, I do. I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, my time capsule. I am definitely going page 2, first and only appearance of the Guardian Life Insurance Company, and I think it's funny on Marvel Fandom, which I love. There is a little note that says that after this appearance of the Guardian Life Insurance Company, the real world Guardian Life Insurance Company wrote a cease and desist letter to Marvel saying, we're not happy that you made our company look like a bunch of villains, and we would appreciate it if you would never use that name again. And
Wait,
and it hasn't been. So
can you send me that sort? Because like I found out, I learned that it was a real company, and I wondered if they had any reaction. So I'll have to make a cap fact out of that.
Yeah, it's on Marvel fandom, right?
Okay,
it's the issue. If you just scroll down to the bottom of that issue in the notes, they often have little fun facts about the issues.
Well, I am so glad that you brought that up, Grant. I meant to ask you about that, and better late than never. But cap facts, right? Do you want to give a little plug for that? Because those are awesome.
I'm mostly on TikTok, but I also post to YouTube and Instagram and Blue Sky. I have cap facts, and 3 times a week generally I'll share some tidbits about Captain America history, whether that's just things that have happened in the comics or if I can tie in real world things in history. I love doing that, and it's just a good time talking about Captain America because I don't get to do it enough in my normal life. Coworkers react strangely if you just start talking about, the Tumblr and his lack of impact in the medium, in the break room. They don't respond well, but TikTok does.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy your cap facts.
Thanks.
They always bring a little smile to my face, right? It's just like a quick boost of fun in the cap facts because they're short, right? They're like 10 seconds or whatever, right?
The longest I've ever done was slightly over 3 minutes, and that was too much.
Yeah, hey, that's the same record, and that's the same comment my wife made.
Oh, he's so proud of himself.
Anyway, so we'll put a link in the show notes to your cap facts.
Sweet.
What's that? What's the one you want us to send it to? Your YouTube or your TikTok?
Probably YouTube. I think that'll be if people are already. I think that's the most ubiquitous one, and it's also where you can see the presentation that I gave at FanX just last month, along with Matthew Glover and Jason Olsen, where we talked about the longest running writers on Captain America.
Yeah, I highly recommend listeners that you check that out as well. Matthew Glover and Jason Olsen, also patrons of the show, which, by the way, if you're interested in becoming a patron of the show, you can go to my buymeacoffee.com/Cap Comic Fans and learn more about that. But that's what all the cool people are doing, right? Right, Grant?
All 6 of us. I don't know how many there are.
If you go on buymeacoffee.com, you can actually see how many people in the list. I think there's a total of 30 of you. And God bless all 30 of you because that helps us pay our bills. So we appreciate it. And then, you get fun things like, opportunities to come on the show.
And you're immortalized.
That's true.
Right? Recordings of these will go into the vault when the comet's coming. So
someday these will be in a time capsule.
Nicely done.
All right. You get the Shield Challenge coin, which I have 2 of them now. So you can balance one out in each pocket.
Yeah. Now you're just showing off. All right. Grant, we really do appreciate you coming on the show. It's been a lot of fun. I know it was kind of last minute, but if we're going to do something about the Tumblr, we had to have you on the show.
Yeah. I was so happy to see it. And funnily enough, I feel like my wife was more excited about it. I don't know why, because obviously I'm the Cap fan, but she just thought it was the coolest thing that I was getting invited to talk about the Tumblr.
Probably because she's finally released from that duty.
Yeah.
And she's like, someone else finally.
I've heard so much about the Tumblr.
All right. Well, thank you, Mrs. Ball, for allowing Grant to be on the show. Bob, any final comments?
Nope. This has been super fun. Great to have you on the show again, Grant. Look forward to the next time already. And start thinking of that for the next fantasy draft. If you pull a lucky card for that one, and we may have to see the rebirth of the tumbler.
If not, I might just have to pull. I don't know. I'm now intrigued. I'm now intrigued by the character. I'm now like a Tumblr fan number 2.
Nice.
Just watch. What was once a guaranteed pick for the team is now going to be highly contested.
Highly coveted.
Him and Bucky is the ones everyone wants.
No, him and Sergeant Duffy, apparently.
Sergeant Duffy. Yes. I've got my Sergeant Duffy just right up there.
All right. Well, for Grant Ball and Bob Lucius, I'm Rick Verbanis, and thank you for listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.
Extra value meals are back. For just $5, get a savory and sweet sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, plus hash browns and a coffee. Only at McDonald's.
For limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.